Hello guys, this is Tina. See you again. Last video I just have an introduction on the validation, which is Spring interface or bin validation, and I'm thinking about is how to give you an example. So I grab a programming question from my exam. Then what I'm gonna do is I will lead you walk through all the requirements in this programming question, and then I will set up the project, lead you code to fulfill all the requirements inside this question. I probably will separate this video into 3 or 4 videos. The first video, I'm gonna just walk through the requirements inside this question. In the second video, I'm gonna just coding step by step to make most of the features works, but don't have the validation. And then I'm gonna have another video which is add validation feature on this project or on this exam question step by step, so you are clear know how to add and how to using bin validation integrate with Spring. And the last part, probably I will have a separate video to show you how to do using Java config, Spring's validator interface to do the bin validation. This is gonna be totally different from this one. And one more video currently I'm thinking in mind is to have this demo. I'm gonna using XML. Then I'm gonna have another one which is for the Java configuration. Okay, so first in this video, let me walk you through the programming question requirements. Okay, this requirement say complete the registration form using Spring Form tag library, PRG pattern, okay, post redirect, and the bin validation to reflection the flow in relationship and screenshots. The relative URL for the controller mapping is same for the get and post method, which means your post method, the URL is the same as your retrieve the form. To determine the request mapping URL, referred URL is in the browser bar regarding of the screenshots. So which means you have to take a look at this screenshot, the URL bar, to find out what's the URL making a call to display this form, right? Upon a completion of same method, the success.jsp page should be displayed. You have to using the PRG pattern to display the success.jsp in the post method. The name of the project is exam, this one, which means in the screenshot, this part is the application context root. You should not include the exam, the 11117 into your URL, request mapping URL, get mapping URL, or post mapping URL. You should only using this part. For this question, you must using Spring Form tag, which means when you display this form, you must using Spring Form tag instead of using HTML form. Second, you must using PRG pattern in the controller. When I click this submit add button, you have to using redirect inside that post mapping method. Okay, don't directly return success.jsp. So this is the page. User form is a page for this screen, and this is the URL. It means the /user/add will return this JSP page. In this JSP page, you have a username, email, age, birthday, and here you have a row to select the rows. Okay, and here you have a street, and it will have a street, state, zip code, and you have a button. And next one, which is validation errors, which means if I click this button, without have any input, you will get those error messages. This is a bin validation to do that. Okay, first the size, email, age, birthday, role, street, state, zip code, they are all required, or you have a size between something. Okay, so in this case, this one is you have annotation size. This one you can using not none or not empty. This one is required, you can using not none. And the birthday is required, you can using not none. A row you can using not none, okay, or not empty. Street you can using not empty or not blank. Okay, size, this one you're using a size. Required you can using not none. Okay, this is one. The other one is when you click submit button with these input values, it also have other validation errors. The first one is should be email. You can add annotation email because test is not a valid email address. And for the age, I type an integer here, but it must be greater than 18. So you have to some annotation to make sure the age is greater than 18. And this data format, this one actually is not what? Is not a bin validation annotation. It should be something called a datetime formatter. And to display this information, you have to using type mismatch. Because this message happens during the data binding. Spring cannot convert this string to a local date. That's why here you have this error. And here you select, and for the zip code, you type some character or alphabet here, and here they say it must be an integer. So this is validation we will do in future video. Okay, and this one is a success, which means if all the bin validation passed, when you click add, it will make a save and it will redirect to this page. Okay, you can see here, this is the form, this is /user/add. But when we move to this success.jsp page, the URL is /user/details. If you're using forward, the URL in the browser bar should remain no change, but you can see it's changed. So in your post method, you made a redirect to another getter method. Then you in the get method, you return this page, and this page will show the information you put, like a name, email, age, birthday, role, address, state, and a zip code. Okay, so this is the feature you have to implement. But for the domain model, we give a specific domain models. Okay, here add bin validation annotation to implement functionalities at the screenshot display in the user.java and address.java. So you only has two domain models. Okay, one is user, the other one is address. This role is not another domain model, it's just a simple string value. So I have user, name, email, integer, date, string. Okay, role is just a string value, and you have address. And in the address, you have three field: address, state, and zip code. Okay, and here you have to add a bin validation annotation to fulfill requirements you see in previous screenshots. And then in the controller, you just add annotation and the code necessary to implement functionality as a screenshot display. Make sure you're using PRG pattern. And we just have a skeleton code here, which just have a user controller. And when you see PRG, you have to think about the three methods. One is retrieve the form, and the second is a post. And in the post, you will redirect to another get. So in this controller, you should have three methods. Okay, you need to write. And in the JSP, here you have to using spring form. Okay, spring form, and then in the success, here you're just using what you learned in servlets or JSP, using EL expression to display the values, right? Display the values here. And if you have externalized the error messages, you have to configure the error message properties. And that's it for the requirement. And the next video I'm gonna start coding. Okay, so if you are interested in this program or in this question, please watch my next video. If you like my video, please leave a like or leave a comment or subscribe my channel. Thank you. See you soon.